right now on 5 on your side at 10.
Frigid night. 2 more bitter mornings before the next shot at snow. When that system arrives and why it won't add much to our snowpack.
A winter roadblock in North St. Louis.
It's dangerous. I don't feel safe, so I stay inside the house.
Tonight, frustrated residents turn to 5 on your side to get their snowpacked streets cleared. The St. Louis County Council war heats up. The push tonight to remove the county executive from office. First tonight, frigid temperatures having an impact on the bi-state. Temperatures expected to dip into the single digits overnight, causing more issues on roads that are still covered in snow and ice. Thanks for joining us tonight at 10. I'm Mike Bush. Kelly Jackson has the night off. Let's get straight over to Weather Impact Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell with what you need to know about this dangerous cold.
Well, temperatures have been dropping tonight, Mike, as the clouds rolled out of St. Louis under that clear sky with fairly light winds. We've really seen those temperatures drop off. Chesterfield's down to 7 right now. Alton's 9, Warrenton's 8. Where you still have the clouds, it's still in the 20s southeast of St. Louis. And there are a few clouds up the road that will be sliding into the St. Louis area over the next couple of hours. But you know, MoDOT and IDOT have plowed a lot of snow off to the side of the road. Some of it melted today because we had a bit of sunshine and also because of the chemicals. But then once you get that puddle on the roads, well, the chemicals aren't as effective, and so then you get the black ice, and that can cause problems when you kind of sneak up. You think the road's just wet, and in fact, it's an icy patch, and you'll just need to slow down. We're going to continue to deal with that for the next couple of nights, as temperatures again tomorrow night will be quite cold. You can see Lambert's been dropping here. We're down to 14 degrees right now, but Kirksville back to Columbia, they kind of have steadied out because of the clouds rolling in. So I think many of us will steady out here as we go through the next few hours. Once we get the clouds to start increasing, that'll bottom it out and we'll hold about steady for the rest of the night. Rest of the week is going to be cold. Roads will be refreezing at night the next couple of nights for sure. So you'll need a little extra time still in the morning because of the residual ice and snow, plus dress in layers heading out the door. We'll talk about our snow chances on Friday, which don't look overly impressive, coming up in a few minutes, Mike.
And hundreds of schools, including some of the area's largest districts, are calling off school tomorrow for a third straight day. Others are turning to virtual learning again. The full list is running at the bottom of your screen. You can also text the word closings to 314-425-5355, and we'll send it straight to your phone. A live look tonight at I-64 near Chesterfield Parkway. This has been a problem area for drivers after this week's snow and sleet. However, tonight, all lanes look relatively clear. Chesterfield police say they've responded to more than 200 calls for help over the last 2 days. Many cars got stuck in the snow banks at exit ramps created by snowplows.
A lot of small sedans, mid-sized sedans were the main ones that were getting stuck. Then you had other ones who may have had trucks who thought they could make it, but they might have gone a little too fast given the conditions and thus slid and lost control and slid into a ditch or to the median.
Police say if you have to leave your car on the side of the road, you have 24 hours before it'll be towed away. A close call tonight for a Missouri State Highway Patrol trooper helping a stranded motorist on I-270. The officer's truck was hit. No one was hurt. Authorities are urging drivers to move over when you see those emergency lights activated. Homeowners in North St. Louis feel as if they've literally been left out in the cold. Some say they're now living in fear as a result of snow-packed roads. New tonight, the neighborhood's frustrated alderwoman is sharing her concerns with 5 on Your Side's Robert Townsend.
Naomi Brown has lived on Emerson Avenue in North St. Louis for 50 years, but for the past 2 days,
I need milk and can't go get milk. It's a safety hazard.
Brown says she couldn't move her truck because thick snow, sleet, and ice have covered her street.
I'm concerned about falling. I don't feel safe out here.
Just a few blocks away on Raymond Place,
I think they need to do better for the city because we pay tax just like everybody else.
90-year-old Bernice Jones is afraid she won't be able to make it to her doctor's appointment on Wednesday due to the slick, snowy streets.
Look at the street outside. I'm going to get out. If my son don't come from the university and take me, I won't be able to go.
And you got to make that appointment?
Yeah, I have blood clots in my legs.
Alderwoman Pam Boyd is also not pleased with the current road conditions in this north side area. Boyd says in part, quote, "Nothing's been done in the 13th Ward to help us get to work." Boyd adds, "I guess we don't matter." But you might say a city spokesman fired back. In a statement, he says when it comes to snow routes, everyone is treated fairly. Rasmus Jorgensen says snow routes in Ward 13 are getting the same attention as snow routes in any other part of the city. Anyone can look up snow routes on our interactive snow route map. Jorgensen also says the city does not plow smaller residential streets because plows are not always able to get through and the risk of damaging parked cars increases. That does not put a freeze on neighbors' fears.
We need assistance.
We just have to work around it.
Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
The mayor's spokesman says as of today, every snow route in the city has been plowed and 90% of those routes are now completely done. The street department will also review all requests that come to the Citizens Service Bureau. Tonight, thousands of people in southern Missouri and Illinois remain without power after this week's winter storm. In Perry County, Missouri, nearly 5,000 Citizens Electric customers have been in the dark for more than 48 hours. About a half-inch of ice fell around Perryville.
It was described to me several times as a war zone. You stepped outside and you heard branches popping and limbs falling and hitting houses and cars and ice fall. And it's an eerie sound, but something you won't forget.
Crews have been working around the clock to restore power. Warming centers have been set up to help residents without heat. A new era tonight for the St. Louis County Council. 3 council members were sworn in today. Councilwoman Shalonda Webb of District 4 begins her second term. She was joined by new council members, Gretchen Bangert of District 2 and Mike Archer of District 6. Just about 2 hours ago, the new council wrapped up its first meeting, and the ongoing council war is heating up. One of the first orders of business, a call to draft legislation giving the council the ability to remove county department heads, and that includes the county executive. 5 on your side's Laura Barczewski was at that meeting and joins us now live from Clayton. Laura.
Mike, this new legislation would require a change to the St. Louis County Charter, which leaves it up to the people to decide whether they want to give that removal power to the council.
To kick off the new year, the St. Louis County Council appointed Councilwoman Rita Hurd Days as chair and Councilman Dennis Hancock as vice chair amidst pending litigation. The new chairwoman is looking to get a charter change in front of voters on the April 8th ballot.
Pertaining to the removal of the county executive, county councilor, and department directors.
This started really with the directors and how they approached this council, the disrespect that they had for us not answering our questions and flat out, honestly, lying to us about that.
Vice Chair Hancock supports the measure.
The power would simply be to be able to hold department heads, directors, and maybe even the county executive accountable for the things that they have and haven't done.
Days says there was a narrative out there that this was solely about giving the council the power to remove current county executive Sam Page.
And that's not the case at all.
This is coming around the same time Page's name was brought up in the process to replace Wesley Bell. Newly appointed county prosecutor Melissa Price-Smith says she was asked by someone in Page's office to dig up dirt on then council candidate Mike Archer.
I think it was absolutely improper. Yes, I do.
Page says he wasn't involved or aware of it.
Every day, people call around St. Louis County using my name, trying to speak for me. That was not something that I initiated.
As far as the proposed removal legislation goes, Page doesn't agree with it.
I think that most people in St. Louis County would like to have a chance to vote and choose their county executive and not have it chosen by county council members.
And the voters are already sharing their opinions.
I look forward to seeing what it looks like as a county needs a path forward to remove bad actors from critical seats in government.
I think it's a bad idea to, empower a private entity other than the voters the power to be able to remove an elected official.
There was no vote or discussion amongst the council members about this call for legislation, but a more finalized version of this bill will likely appear on the next agenda for the St. Louis County Council. One thing the council did approve tonight, though, was an audit of the St. Louis County Prosecutor's Office, which Melissa Price-Smith says she agrees with. Reporting live in Clayton, Laura Barcheski, 5 on your side.
And tonight we're hearing more from the new St. Louis County prosecutor, Melissa Price Smith, about her plans for the office. She was sworn in Friday to replace Wesley Bell, who was elected to Congress. And she tells 5 on your side political editor Mark Maxwell she wants to create a new homicide unit and restore a recently disbanded violent crimes unit. The veteran prosecutor has worked under Bell and his predecessor, longtime prosecutor Bob McCullough.
Bob McCullough was a little bit more law and order. Wesley Bell was a little bit more reform. I have learned from both of them, and I plan on moving forward with what I've learned from both of them and make this a strong office.
Smith also says there's no room for politics in the prosecutor's office. She plans to run for a full 4-year term in 2 years, and you can see more of her conversation with Mark Sunday night on The Record following Sports Plus. New reaction tonight to the Missouri auditor's 3-year probe into former St. Louis Circuit Attorney Kim Gardner. The state auditor points to glaring concerns over Gardner's spending and her enrollment in nursing school while in office. Our Brent Solomon joins us now with response from a Gardner supporter. Brent?
That's right, Mike. Today, the state auditor said Gardner blamed the pandemic for poor performance in her office. But he says that poor performance surfaced years before COVID and continued after. The head of the city's NAACP believes state leaders never wanted Gardner to do well.
Her repeated choices to prioritize her personal pursuits over the duties she was elected to perform caused catastrophic damage not only to the office, but also to the safety and well-being of the people of St. Louis.
Missouri Auditor Scott Fitzpatrick addressing reporters Tuesday after releasing the highly anticipated audit into former St. Louis prosecutor Kim Gardner. She resigned in 2023 following growing pressure, contempt of court hearings, staff resignations, and criticism over how the office handled big cases. Fitzpatrick found Gardner spent nearly 7 work weeks focusing on nursing courses instead of her duties as circuit attorney, which resulted, he says, in fewer cases being prosecuted.
In that last period that Kim was in office, at the end of the year, police came in and dropped about 1,600 cases that they had been holding for more than a year, and say, hey, you need to prosecute these cases. And so I think they intentionally set on cases, some of them serious crimes, set on them in order to go in there and drop a pile of cases on there and then go testify in front of the Missouri Senate and say, see, nothing's getting done.
Adolphus Pruitt heads the St. Louis NAACP and believes the audit is part of a culminating vendetta against the first black prosecutor to be elected to that position.
She forced a Republican governor to have to resign from office less than maybe a year or 2 years into his term. I don't think the folks in power, the Republican Party in the state, appreciated that.
Pruitt believes those nursing classes would have been a benefit to the office as Gardner worked to bring mental health resources. Fitzpatrick calls that a joke. 3 months ago, Gardner pled guilty to misusing some $5,000 in public funds. She was ordered to repay it.
A cure for crippling medical debt? The last-minute move that could give millions of Americans more financial freedom. Taking a bite out of Apple. Tonight we verify if a Siri settlement means money in your pocket.
Siri says it's going to snow Friday, but doesn't know how much. I have some thoughts on this quick-hitting system for us and why it's not going to keep you cooped up this weekend.
And Jimmy Carter lies in state at the U.S. Capitol. This is a live look at the Capitol Rotunda, where a long line of mourners have passed by his casket. A state funeral will be held Thursday for the 39th president, who died last month at the age of 100. President Biden declared that day a national day of mourning. We're following a developing story out of Boston's Logan International Airport. One person has been detained after opening the door of a taxiing airplane. The emergency slide of the JetBlue plane was deployed. The flight was headed to Puerto Rico. No injuries were reported. In Southern California tonight, you're seeing this video, carloads of evacuees scrambling to get off a burning mountain. The Los Angeles Fire Department says a wildfire burning in the Pacific Palisades Highlands community has quickly grown to more than 1,000 acres. Several homes have burned. A move tonight by the Biden administration could bring relief to millions of Americans crippled by medical debt. A new rule from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau will ban unpaid medical bills from affecting your credit score. The agency says people who get sick should not have their financial future upended. The new rules will likely be challenged in court. The incoming Trump administration could also reverse all or parts of the rule. If you own an Apple device, you could be in for a payday. Tonight, our Verify team looks into who may be eligible. Here's Casey Decker.
Voice commands are a feature of most smartphones these days. But how many times have you wondered if your phone was listening to you when you didn't want it to? Some Verify viewers said they heard Apple settled a lawsuit because its devices were doing just that with its Siri feature. So let's verify. Is there an Apple Siri settlement? Our sources are Apple and official court documents. In August of 2019, a lawsuit claimed Apple used Siri to record customers without them knowing. Apple denies any wrongdoing, but admitted to making the recordings, saying they were only used to help improve Siri's functionality. The company settled the case and agreed to delete any recordings made before October of 2019. Apple also said it will, quote, no longer retain audio recordings of Siri interactions. So we can verify, yes, there is an Apple Siri settlement. Anyone who owned an Apple device with Siri between September 17, 2014 and December 31st, 2024 is eligible for the settlement. You could receive up to $20 per device, capped at 5 devices. A court still needs to approve the settlement. That's expected to happen in mid-February. With your Verify, I'm Casey Decker.
What would you like us to verify? Send us an email to verify@ksdk.com. Chief Meteorologist Scott Connell joins us now once again with that weather impact forecast, and it is going to be a cold one tonight.
It's the coldest we've seen so far this winter around St. Louis, and we still have another night to get through with temperatures potentially in the single digits once again. 9 in Alton, Edwardsville's 13. Some of these numbers fluctuate a little bit, but even in Forest Park, it's 15 degrees right now. We have seen out in Chesterfield it down to 7 degrees at Spirit, 15 though in Wildwood. A lot of this has to do with whether you have a little bit of a breeze or not, and also the fact that off to the southeast of St. Louis we still have some clouds. So it's still in the 20s here across southern Illinois. Columbia's 12 degrees right now. Kirksville's holding at 19. That's because there are clouds there. We do have the ice down south of St. Louis still, but there is progress on the power. In Reynolds County, 1,100 customers without power, but now in Iron and St. Francis County, we are down to less than 1,000 customers. Perry County, Missouri, still about 3,100 customers. Perry County was hit pretty hard, as you saw earlier. Right now, yeah, there's still a lot on the roads. They're still wet or perhaps icy. We will watch for black ice to form. Anything that has melted today that doesn't have chemical with it, subject to refreeze with these cold temperatures. Lambert's at 14 right now, only 26 for the high. Our morning low was 22 degrees, so 14 will become the new low temperature for the day if we don't drop lower before midnight. Think temperatures in many areas will be in the single digits. Again, it has to do with the clouds and whether there's a little bit of a breeze. If you can stay clear without a breeze for any amount of time, it quickly drops into the single digits. Tomorrow's pretty nice. We're back into the mid-20s. Pretty nice in a relative sense, right? At least we'll see a little more in the way of sunshine tomorrow. More clouds on the way in now. They won't produce snow. There's not enough there for that, but this system will produce snow in some unusual places, perhaps North Texas, down into Arkansas. It's going to try to flirt with us as we head through the day on Thursday and really Thursday night into Friday. So clouds start to increase on Thursday out of this system. Our temperatures, they go back to around, perhaps even a little above freezing for some of us on Thursday afternoon. And then we go into Thursday night, and we will be tracking the potential of some light snow. What you're noticing on Futurecast here is that it's much more scattered as we head towards Friday morning, and you're not painting a lot of blue on here, which would be that moderate to heavy snow. So will we see some accumulation? Some light accumulations are in the offing for us, but this is not a big storm for us. It will be down in parts of Arkansas, North Texas. There could be 5 to 7 inches of snow from Little Rock over toward Memphis, but limited moisture for us on our end of it. So while we'll see some snow, it looks like it's more on the order of a dusting to perhaps an inch or so, with maybe 2 or 3 inches far southeast of St. Louis. Other than that, it's a relatively tranquil forecast, but not an especially warm one. It is chilly for the next 7 days. And I think, Mike, it's safe to say probably for the next 14 days as well. This month is not going to be seeing a bit of an above average temperature trend until perhaps the end of the month.
The 36 for a high on Sunday looks balmy
Yes, it
compared to
does.
tonight. All right. Scott, thanks. Frank is next with sports.
Mike, we had the Blues in Minnesota. We have the basketball Tigers trying to end a long losing streak. And I have a quote from a sports figure that you just have to hear.
This 5 on Your Side Sports Report is sponsored by Onder Law Injury Attorneys.
The first game of the second half of the season is like the first day of a New Year's resolution. You're hoping for good things and a fresh start, but it often fades quickly, like today for me and that chocolate croissant. For the Blues, it came on the first shot tonight by Minnesota, and they trailed 1-0. The Blues were down 2-0 in the first, and here they come. Dylan Holloway, Pavel Vucinovic, and we have a 2-1 game. Second period, Blues on the power play. Jordan Kyrou will unleash it. That's number 18. Make it a 2-2 game. Pretty good passing coming up here. Oscar Sundqvist, Jake Neighbors, number 11. Make it 3-2 note. Still in the second, Ryan Suter, Robert Thomas make it 4-2. And I don't think many teams lose when they score 4 straight. The Blues did. Matt Boldy had the game winner. The final, the Wild 6, the Blues 4.
I thought we were really good after we fell down 2-0, and I thought we were really good till about the 8-minute mark of the second. And then I thought, we didn't have as enough grit or as much determination as they did.
The Blues had a league-high 9 prospects play in the World Junior Championships that just concluded. The 9 put up some big numbers, and that didn't count Minnesota Golden Gopher Jimmy Snuggerud. The 20-year-old stuck around for one more college season, which he hopes ends with a Frozen Four right here at Enterprise in the spring.
I told him, the ultimate end of the season would be to pack a big suitcase when he comes to St. Louis for the Final Four, win that, and then come to us. But he's having a really good year, and he's excited about the push here that they have. I think he said they have 16 regular season games left, and he wants to maximize those, and then obviously win a national championship.
A lot has happened in the world since the last time Missouri basketball has won a game in the SEC. 699 days ago. The Blues have had 3 coaches. So has City SC. The Battlehawks have been in 2 leagues. And Taylor Swift released 2 albums and started dating Travis Kelce. Could the drought end against LSU tonight? Mizzou came out clicking. Love this Anthony Robinson backdoor pass to Mark Mitchell for the dunk right there. Coach Gates says this streak is ending at 19 games. Caleb Grill had a brace on his neck for a long time. Tonight, he was in pain. He was a pain in the neck for LSU. Tamar Bates is their best offensive player. He pops a 3, and Mizzou led by 15 at halftime. They say that the first 5 minutes of the second half dictate the game, and Bates would not let up. Mizzou's SEC drought is over after an 83-67 victory. SIU Edwardsville at Eastern Illinois and Jaden Pickett, the pride of Belleville East, will drain the 3 right there. Later, Desmond Polk on the block, and the Cougars win their 3rd in a row with a 60-57 victory. Tomorrow, the Billikens will host 14-1 St. Bonaventure in one of the games of the year. The Bonnies' general manager is a man named Adrian Wojnarowski. His story is fascinating and illuminating. Woj is a 55-year-old son of Polish immigrants. He's married with 2 children. He was the star at ESPN, the best basketball information guy ever, made over $7 million a year. He took the job with the Bonnies and makes $75,000 a year. Why? Well, he got cancer, which he's recovering from, but he also got perspective. He's tired of talking trades and torn hamstrings, and he said something great. Time isn't an endless supply, and I want to spend mine in ways that are more personally meaningful, end quote. I think we can all learn a little bit from that statement, and it would be great if we didn't have to deal with cancer to feel that way. That's our sports show for tonight. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back.
And Scott has a final check of that weather impact forecast. Awfully cold.
Yeah, single digits out the door for a lot of us tomorrow morning, low teens. And then Friday, another chance for a little bit of light snow. Might get upwards of 2 or 3 inches over our far southeastern counties. But for most of us around the metro area, it's kind of that dusting to an inch sort of thing. And it shouldn't have a big impact compared to this last storm. In fact, we're spreading that out over about 6 to 10 hours instead of it all coming in 30 minutes to an hour.
Yeah, well, we hope we don't have any snowstorm like that for a long time.
Yes.
There you have it. 5 on your side at 10. We're always streaming on 5 Plus. Start your day with Today in St. Louis beginning at 4 a.m. And have a great tomorrow.